coupe SUV was 2024's big new thing, and it bombed. Because neither set the market on fire. Still, it opened up a new sub-segment, alright, in the compact SUV space. The Basalt and the Curvv are good value and come with a fair bit. So, is there enough in both of them to catch your attention? Okay, full points for them to trying to be different, but did it work? The Basalt's barely made it past 4-digit sales since launch, and Curvv's done decently with around 30,000 units on the road. But this also includes the electric Curvv, so the real number for the petrol Curvv will be much lower. Let me just start by saying that the Basalt is the better looking car here. It even won the 2025 Car Design Award at the Totems, tied with the MG Windsor, but it's still a great car. A coupe SUV looks great. There are some faults like rear headroom. The sloping roof sets challenges for the Curvv, and yes, therefore, anyone above 5 feet 9 inches will hit their head on the roof. Too many gizmos in the Curvv, a large touchscreen on the top-end variants and smaller units on the lower trims. A 10.25-inch virtual cluster, a wireless charger, electronic parking brake, auto hold in a manual car. Nice, but no cup holders? Where am I supposed to keep my drinks? Now that's just basic. The Basalt is bare bones in comparison. Yeah, you have a large touchscreen and a virtual cluster, but it looks like it's from 2003. You have a wireless charger and wireless connectivity, and thankfully you have decent sized cup holders. Since these are coupe SUVs, you're obviously wondering which one has a better rear seat. Let me just be blunt, the Basalt is much better here. Good headroom and good knee room, and you won't feel cramped at all. The seats have good cushioning too, and I'm really digging these airplane style headrests. The Curvv could have been much better back here. It feels claustrophobic, and that's partly because of the rising window line. The seat comfort is fine though. Lots of powertrain options in the Curvv. Electric, diesel and 2 turbo petrol engines, and all the ICE ones come with 2 gearboxes. Tata Motors built this engine entirely in-house, and that's great. It has a strong mid-range and there's decent torque on offer. The clutch is smooth, but the gearbox, not so much. The ride is good too, but it's bouncy, and that's because of the soft suspension setup. The Basalt only has a petrol engine. Both are 1.2-liter engines, and only one has a turbo, while the other is naturally aspirated. The Basalt also gets 2 manual transmissions and an automatic. The turbo petrol performs well, it's refined. Low-end torque is good, and it sounds really good for a 3-cylinder. But it's the ride quality that really drives the comfort up to 11. It's a good balance of comfort and stability. Both have good crash test scores too. At Bharat NCAP, the Curvv scored 5 stars, while the Basalt scored 4. The Curvv though has the advantage of ADAS, which works well with minimal interference. Honestly, the Curvv is a great package, but the Basalt has some aces up its sleeve. Are those aces enough to provide it with a winning hand? There was a lot of buzz with the Curvv and the Basalt, which is now fading, but couldn't really capture consumer interest in the coupe SUV body style. But why couldn't they? Is it because they tried to solve a problem that didn't exist? Or are coupe SUVs still associated with the luxury segment? Coupe SUV combines the proportion of the sedan and the practicality of an SUV. But should it? Well, honestly, after seeing the market response, we highly doubt that this makes any sense. They probably would have looked much better as sedans. The
Basalt is much prettier by a big margin, and that's why it won the 2025 Car Design Award at the Totems. The proportions are much better, and yeah, it still looks stylish. Just shows you Citroën did a better job at designing it. But this doesn't mean that the Curvv is a bad-looking coupe SUV. It's got so much style, but there are some elements that make it seem out of proportion. This rear end is a bit awkward, especially this haunch that is an issue. Things are quite different inside. In terms of design, the Basalt looks better with its quirky design, and it cannot beat the Curvv at any variant level. The Basalt's interior is quite simple. Elements like the AC vents, the pattern on the dashboard look good. Even the ergonomics are quite decent. The plastic quality though, not as good as the Curvv. The Curvv feels more premium on the inside, but the ergonomics could have been better. Weird bottle holders, no cup holders, and the steering wheel can't even be adjusted for reach. Good luck getting comfortable, tall or large drivers. And the Curvv also gets a lot of attention with the interior colors on offer as compared to the Basalt. This burgundy interior looks superb, and the features on offer are absolutely mind-boggling. That's where the Curvv wins half the battle. The Basalt gets a large touchscreen, but this virtual cluster looks like it's from 2003. There is a wireless charger, but no USB-C points, even at the front or at the rear. There's no sunroof. Is this a reason why people aren't buying the Basalt? Probably. The Curvv is brilliant when it comes to features. A large touchscreen, a large virtual cluster, a large sunroof, large everything. Even the steering wheel is better than the Citroëns, and like all Tatas, it's illuminated but still a fingerprint magnet. So has the Curvv already won this battle of the coupe SUVs? No, because the Basalt comes back strongly and throws some big punches. The pun was so not intended. The rear seats are great, good knee room and headroom. It really hides this coupe SUV body style inside. Look at how much space I have. I also really like these airplane style headrests. It's great if you want to have a nap in the back seat. With the Curvv, things are slightly different. The Curvv lacks the sense of space that the Basalt has. That's partly because of the sloping roofline, partly because of the panoramic sunroof eating into the headroom, and partly because of how everything else has been packaged. The seats are comfortable, but it just really feels claustrophobic back here. Both these SUVs have massive boot space, which the rivals don't, at least on paper. The Curvv's is 30 liters larger than the Basalt's, and the Aster comes the closest on paper, but all of those are measured up to the partial shelf. You can remove that partial shelf to make more space in the boot, something which you cannot do in the coupe SUVs. Both scored decently at Bharat NCAP crash test, with the Basalt winning 4 stars and the Curvv winning 5. Great to see a focus shift on safer cars for India. The Curvv also trumps the Basalt with 20 plus ADAS features which work well. Tata has also improved the blind spot monitor, giving you the option to configure it in the virtual cluster or the touchscreen. The Curvv gets electric, diesel and 2 turbo petrol powertrains. Even the electric version has multiple options, but that's a story for another day. Watch our review on the Curvv EV to know more about it. The ICE Curvv also has a diesel engine, which is good too. We are driving the new Hyperion Turbo Petrol. Tata Motors has tuned this one for efficiency, so there is a little lack of power initially, especially in eco and city modes, but in sport, not so much. Things change a little bit around 1750 RPM, and after that, it's linear. Like all Tata Motors cars, the gear shift is slightly jerky and the clutch has a slightly longer travel. It could take a toll on your left leg after a long drive in heavy traffic. The Basalt only has two engines, a naturally aspirated petrol and a turbo petrol. Both have the same displacement. This is also a turbo petrol manual. The engine is great with good low-end torque and it's smooth and it feels peppier than the Curvv. The gearbox is great too, but it takes a little effort slotting it, especially from second to third. Well, we thought only Tatas had this problem, but seems like Citroën needs to fix this too. Citroën is hard to beat on ride quality and the Basalt lives up to that standard too. You'd forget all your problems once you're on the move. It's really that comfortable. Things are not the same in the Curvv though. The ride quality is not horrible, but it has a soft suspension setup. It's a bit wallowy over bumps and especially at the back, and things get worse there because of the lack of space. Rear visibility needs serious improvement because the rear windshield is just too small. 6 variants on the Basalt and more than 30 in the Curvv. Well, half of those are diesel, but still the petrol Curvv has twice as many as the Basalt. The Basalt is much cheaper overall. At 8,32,000 rupees, it's 1,68,000 rupees cheaper than the Curvv's base variant. Compared to the top trims, the Basalt is nearly 5,46,000 rupees more affordable than the Curvv. So there's quite a bit of disparity in price between the two. Our pick is the Basalt. It's more comfortable, more fun to drive, and more spacious at the back. Sure, it's not as tech-laden, but has everything you need on a daily basis, barring ADAS. Yeah, those other standard compact SUVs offer more features and practicality than the Basalt, but do they offer as much style? Yes, Creta, Seltos, and all the others are superb in their own right, but we have seen so many of them on the road that we now need to see some flair too, right? So what's stopping you from buying one? Tell us in the comments section below.